But let's look at emotional intelligence from another angle. Workers are grappling with the fear that AI might render their jobs obsolete. But a growing number of employees are interested in embracing AI if only they had a clear understanding of its implications to the workplace and their careers. In the age of AI, employees expect leaders to engage in development conversations that prepare them for a future of possibilities. Hi, I'm Dr. Terry Horton. I've spent a decade helping leaders prepare for the intersection of AI and the future of work. The aim of this course is to provide you with a framework for leading future-forward conversations that address employee concerns head-on, inspire them, and that drive engagement and growth. This is the age of AI. Let the conversations begin. AI is everywhere. We are living through a period that is pulling us deeper into the AI-driven future, full of possibilities. And if we listen closely enough, nearly everyone is talking about AI, its impact across social, entertainment, and work contexts. Bill Gates predicts that in the United States, we are literally months away from significant levels of AI use by the general population, and that AI use will also soar in developing nations. The impact on work and careers will also be profound. Although we're in the early stages of the AI era, we have enough research, facts, and statistics to know that AI is a permanent pillar in the business landscape and is transforming business operations, fueling productivity, growth, and innovation. We also know that AI will materially change how we work, who does the work, how jobs are designed and augmented, skill requirements, and career trajectories. According to WEF's Future of Jobs 2023 report, 60% of workers will require reskilling and retraining by 2027 to adapt to the evolving job landscape. What's more, McKinsey reports that by 2030, AI will drive 12 million occupational transitions, and Accenture estimates as much as 40% of all working hours will be supported or augmented by language-based AI. Conversely, what's exciting is that new industries, business models, and a host of new jobs will be created, like AI strategy and integration consultants, human-machine collaboration managers, AI-assisted sales strategists, and the need for AI ethicists and policymakers, for example, will continue to grow. The point is, the AI era will continue to usher in both disruption and novel opportunities. As a leader, you need to understand the capabilities and the role that AI will continue to play in transforming work broadly, in your industry, your organization's strategies, your function, and how it will transform the roles of employees. Embracing and leveraging AI ensures that you're not only on the right side of the future of work, but that you also accept the challenge of leading your employees into the future. This means the conversations with your employees about careers in the era of AI must start now. They're waiting for you. As managers, you are crucial in driving the momentum and execution of strategies required to move your organization into the future. A future-forward mindset is a strategic imperative for leaders, enabling them to proactively navigate uncertainty, make better decisions that align with the long-term vision of their organization, drive innovation, and position their organization and people for sustained success. After all, how can you effectively lead in the AI-driven future of work without having a future-forward mindset? Check out these statistics if you need evidence of the connection between a future-forward mindset and business results. A recent BetterUp survey revealed that managers high in future-minded leadership skills have future-ready teams that are 25% more agile, 20% more engaged, 18% more innovative, perform 18% better, and are 15% more resilient. As you can see, there is a compelling advantage in leading with the future-forward mindset. Most leaders are doing their best to move the business and employees forward with an eye on the future. But often the challenge lies in navigating rapid and constant change, getting lost in the day-to-day, and the pressure of hyper-focusing on achieving short-term goals. So cultivating, refining, and leveraging a future-forward mindset begins to take a backseat to surviving what feels like the now and necessary. Ultimately, this can compromise your ability to scan the environment proactively, identify signals of change, and use visionary thinking, adaptability, and risk-taking. This can result in losing sight of and the ability to respond to what evolves in the future. So, what does it mean to have a future-forward leadership mindset? It is the ability to envision multiple futures, anticipate and prepare for future trends, challenges, and opportunities, make decisions and guide strategies that align with the trajectory of the future, the organization's long-term vision, and that cultivates a culture that fosters forward thinking among your employees. Doing so becomes a hedge in successfully managing uncertainty and preparing to capitalize on future possibilities. Here's a framework from BetterUp that can help you better define and embrace a future-focused mindset. It's called the Future-Minded Leader Ladder. Future-minded leaders engage in envisioning, which means they ask questions, are curious and optimistic. They explore by using a pragmatic approach, gather diverse inputs, and even embrace the possibility of failure. They navigate by leveraging empowerment, confidence, and enthusiasm to consider a range of outcomes, resulting in a high level of readiness with uncertainty. Now that you've seen this model, how does this align with your perspectives on how you will lead with a future focus? I'll close this video with a quote from a recent EY report on the 5 leadership mindsets needed in an age of new leadership. To thrive now and for years to come, leaders must be prepared to let go of mindsets that are holding them back and master the mindsets that will help them flourish. So, if you're able to make the shift, not only will you be able to flourish, but you will be better prepared to move your teams into the future. Emotional intelligence is one of the most in-demand leadership skills. In fact, emotional intelligence, specifically the qualities of self-awareness, resilience, curiosity, agility, empathy, and social influence, were ranked within the top 10 most valued skills of this decade in the WEF Future of Jobs report. As leaders, you need these skills because leading uncertainty can be challenging, and they'll help you nurture, inspire, develop, and drive employee performance in the business environments of today and tomorrow. But let's look at emotional intelligence from another angle, at the intersection of self-awareness and the impact of artificial intelligence on work. According to the American Psychological Association, 40% of U.S. workers fear that AI may make some or all of their job duties obsolete in the future. On the other hand, research from Boston Consulting Group revealed that 62% of leaders are much more optimistic about AI than frontline employees. The question is, what are your perspectives on AI? Listen, AI is advancing at the enterprise level rapidly, and many of you may be experiencing what Gallup refers to as the manager squeeze, resulting from increased responsibilities, navigating change after change, and aligning new directives from senior leaders with changing expectations of employees. Because of all of this, you may not have been able to take time to focus deeply on your perspectives, biases, concerns, or aspirations about the AI-driven future of work and how they can influence your relationship with your organization, your work, and your employees. So stop. Make a note. You need to make sure that you make time to reflect. Build reflection into your daily routine. With self-awareness, you can assess how your perceptions and emotions influence your actions, making it easier to manage them. The ability to self-regulate or manage them enables you to demonstrate empathy, appreciate multiple perspectives, build trusting relationships, and communicate effectively to facilitate meaningful, future-forward career conversations. There are a host of free online tools that you can use to assess your general level of internal and external self-awareness. And strategies for improving your self-awareness can include being mindful of your strengths and weaknesses, identifying triggers and what holds you back, journaling, being open to change, seeking feedback, and asking the right questions. Start your journey by asking yourself these questions. How has my understanding of AI evolved over the past year? Are there any biases I hold about AI, and where might these have originated from? How do I perceive AI's role in the future of my industry and organization? How do I envision AI changing my role as a leader? What can I do to align my leadership with the opportunities AI presents? What are my fears about AI, and how do they affect my leadership? In what ways do I believe AI might enhance or hinder my ability to lead effectively? What aspirations do I have for AI in enhancing workplace productivity and innovation? How prepared do I feel to lead in an AI-driven work environment? And what steps do I need to take to improve my readiness? Before you can address employee concerns about AI, it's important for you to be aware of your own feelings and perceptions. So before viewing the next video about employee perceptions of AI, take time to reflect on these questions. Emotional intelligence is one of the most in-demand leadership skills. In fact, emotional intelligence, specifically the qualities of self-awareness, resilience, curiosity, agility, empathy, and social influence, were ranked within the top 10 most valued skills of this decade in the WEF Future of Jobs report. As leaders, you need these skills because leading uncertainty can be challenging, and they'll help you nurture, inspire, develop, and drive employee performance in the business environments of today and tomorrow. But let's look at emotional intelligence from another angle, at the intersection of self-awareness and the impact of artificial intelligence on work. According to the American Psychological Association, 40% of U.S. workers fear that AI. Unprecedented technological advancements, rapid adoption of AI in organizations, shifting market demands, and evolving skill requirements are driving the fear of uncertainty and obsolescence among many workers. This fear is shared across college and non-college educated workers, and from boomers to zoomers. This anxiety not only hampers employee morale, but can also lead to declines in productivity, engagement, and retention. The fear of job replacement and job loss, the inability to learn or keep up with new skills, and economic instability are pulsing many of the fears that employees have. Let's take a look at some statistics. According to a recent UKG report on AI and work, 54% of employees have no idea how their company is using AI. The survey also revealed that 75% of employees would be more excited about AI if their company was more transparent about how it's being used. A recent CNBC workforce survey revealed that 42% of workers are concerned about AI's impact on their jobs, with workers of color, individual contributors, and lower salaried workers most concerned. Additionally, 60% of employees who use AI regularly reported they worry about its impact on their jobs. While the recent PwC Global Workforce Hopes and Fears survey revealed that many employees see positive impacts from AI, nearly 20% feared that AI would require them to learn new skills that they might not have the capacity to learn. The 2023 Microsoft Work Trend Index report revealed that 49% of people say they're worried AI will replace their jobs. A Gallup poll revealed 22% of workers are worried that technological advancements will make their jobs obsolete, and the fear was shared equitably between men and women. The same Gallup poll revealed that Gen Z is more fearful that AI will make their jobs obsolete than any other age group. Keep in mind that your employees are balancing news about AI and its impact on jobs and careers more frequently than ever. 300 million jobs will be replaced by generative AI, according to Goldman Sachs. As much as 40% of all working hours will be supported or augmented by AI, according to Accenture. Or that more than half of employers say certain entry-level jobs or entire teams could be replaced by AI, according to Cengage. Whew. I know that was a lot of statistics, and I did it intentionally. because the perceptions of many of your employees are probably represented in many of these statistics. So address them head on. Your employees need your understanding, empathy, transparency, and guidance more than ever. This is the first step in enabling you to cultivate an environment of trust that can alleviate employee fears and lays the foundation for meaningful future-forward career conversations and can aid in building a resilient and future-ready organization. I want to close this video with an equally important perspective. Not all of your employees will have trepidation about AI. A significant number of employees are not just ready, but eager to embrace AI and its capabilities. So be sure to foster an environment that equally supports conversations about their aspirations so that your approach is balanced and relevant. In the next video, we'll provide strategies to mitigate employees' fears so you can have more strategic, future-focused conversations. You might feel that mitigating employees' fears of AI falls out of the scope of your role as a leader. But did you know that data from the American Psychological Association shows that workers worried about AI have a more negative perception of the workplace and their psychological health? It is without question that there are direct correlations between psychological safety, AI impacts, employee motivation, performance, engagement, and retention. This is why addressing fears of AI head-on with your employees requires a human-centered approach. This can feel challenging for you as a leader because you lack all of the answers, but what you do have is your humanity, which enables you to be empathetic, authentic, transparent, and people-centered to address fears, break down barriers, and lay the groundwork for having meaningful career conversations in the future. Humanizing your approach to mitigating fears will require that you be empathetic and compassionate in ways that demonstrate that you see and hear them, support them, and provide a space for them to be vulnerable. Show your vulnerability by acknowledging that AI is changing work rapidly. You do not have all the answers and are also managing uncertainty. Employee perspectives will range from curiosity and excitement about the future to disbelief and fear. So you need to meet each employee where they are and help them adapt to change. Stick to the facts by acknowledging that AI will impact most jobs, but in the short term, not all jobs, all at once and in the same way. Transparency helps in alleviating fears and uncertainties. So be transparent about your company's culture and vision for AI in the future. Share what PwC refers to as your company's future of work narrative. That is, what the future of work means to your organization, people, jobs, initiatives, goals, and expected outcomes. And if you do not know, ask. Your employees will expect you to know this. Give voice to employees by providing channels for them to voice their concerns and suggestions about AI in one-on-ones, staff meetings, and town halls, and use the opportunity to demystify AI. You need to be an authentic beacon of light for employees to move them from a fixed to growth mindset and help illuminate a path forward that they could not imagine alone. Showcase examples and use cases where AI works alongside humans, enhancing their work rather than replacing it. Inspire them to move from fear to curiosity and experimentation with AI. Walmart, P&G, and Deloitte are examples of organizations that have expanded access to employees to drive experimentation, develop use cases, and make AI relatable in context for employees. Knowledge, upskilling, and continuous learning can be the kryptonite for fear, so empower them through learning so they are prepared to face the future of work confidently. Finally, check for well-being and provide support where needed. After all, you are leading human employees into a future and new frontier of work driven by AI, and this will be challenging for some of your employees. The next link in the chain in mitigating employees' fears is helping them discover new possibilities. In the next video, I will talk about the role that futures thinking and scenario planning plays in helping you co-create future possibilities with your employees. Navigating the complexities, uncertainty, and disruptions in the era of AI requires that you become adept at futures thinking. Futures thinking is not about predicting the future. It's about anticipating trends, identifying signals and risks, and envisioning potential scenarios, all aiming to prepare for various futures and increase resilience. Global management consulting firms like McKinsey, PwC, Accenture, WEF, and Gardner frequently provide insights on scenario planning to help leaders make better decisions, plan for uncertainties and unexpected events, and reduce the impact of shocks and disruptions. The challenge is that many leaders may need to gain experience with this approach. Futures thinking and scenario planning is a complex process, but Gardner's Guide to Scenario Planning for Functional Leaders provides a good baseline model that you can follow. To make it relatable, I'll walk you through the model as it would have looked like a year ago as it relates to how generative AI launched and transformed the business environment. The first step in the model is to clearly define an issue that the organization anticipates facing in the future that requires a strategic focus. One issue could be the rapid evolution of AI and its impact on a company's products and services. Next, identify the key driving forces in the external environment that could affect the issue of focus, like regulatory changes, shifts in consumer preferences, or technological advancements. In the context of the example, one driving force could be the launch of generative AI platforms like ChatGPT and its effect on how AI is used to transform the business environment. Creating and prioritizing scenarios is next. Now, with the same driving force in mind, you can develop a range of scenarios your organization might face. You'll need to look at both risks and opportunities. As you build out scenarios, you must prioritize them based on likelihood and impact. So, for example, one scenario might involve the explosion of GPT models that could allow the organization to develop and scale new products faster and better. In contrast, another scenario might involve the organization's inability to leverage Gen AI due to data, privacy, and regulatory implications that could damage the organization's reputation. The next step is adjusting strategy and goals for each scenario. This means considering what would need to change in the organization's current plan to address or capitalize on the scenario. For example, if a new AI breakthrough like generative AI is deemed likely, the company might shift investments to align with this possibility. The next step is to document detailed action plans for the prioritized scenarios. The plan should outline the organization's steps if the scenario unfolds. Continuing with the AI example, one action plan might involve partnering with management consulting firms and research institutions to gather insights and ramp up learning to stay at the forefront of Gen AI developments. The last step is to monitor the scenarios. This requires a monitoring system to watch for signs that a particular scenario is becoming more or less likely so that the organization can proactively adjust strategies. In the AI example, this could involve setting up a dedicated team like an internal AI center of excellence to track Gen AI advancements, trends, and regulatory implications. Now that you understand how futures thinking and scenario planning are used in a strategic organizational context, you are better equipped to apply this process to career planning with your employees. Next, we'll look at how this model can be strategically applied to career planning to help employees envision and prepare for future possibilities. In the last video, we went over the Gartner Scenario Planning Framework. Let's now apply it to career planning. Imagine you're a general manager at a dealership of one of the world's top automotive brands. In addition to driving financial performance, you're also responsible for ensuring that the sales team exceeds revenue goals and that you invest in their development. The first step is to define the focal issue. You start the conversation with, as we look toward the future of sales in our industry, it's clear that AI, virtual and augmented reality, will play pivotal roles. The focal issue we face is integrating these technologies into our sales strategy to stay ahead of the competition. The second step is to isolate key driving forces. You might continue with, several external factors will drive this change. Customers are looking for the convenience and personalization that online and immersive platforms offer, and AI is becoming a critical tool in providing that. Virtual showrooms might become the norm, which may diminish the role of traditional dealerships over time, and VR, AR, and the metaverse could open new realms for the sales process. And your ability to adapt to these driving forces is essential as an automotive sales professional. So becoming AI fluent, adept with AR and VR tools, platforms, techniques, and experiences, and understanding how to leverage AI-driven customer insights will be essential for moving your career forward as the industry evolves with the future. The next step is to create and prioritize scenarios. Ideally, you'll identify 3 to 4 scenarios to highlight potential futures. However, in the interest of time for this video, I'll focus on one. You might continue by saying, one scenario could involve transforming our current dealership model into an experience center. In this scenario, you would focus on engaging customers with the brand, offering immersive experiences with the help of virtual reality to showcase a variety of models, real-time visualized customizations, and vehicle features, and virtual test drives to delight and engage the potential buyer and ultimately increase sales. Step 4 involves adjusting strategies and goals to each scenario. You can move into this step by saying, it's important for the organization to adjust strategy and goals for prioritized scenarios that may arise. So just as our strategic goals, approach, and metrics would be recalibrated, your performance, learning, and career development goals would also recalibrate to reflect the realities of the scenario. In the scenario of pivoting towards an immersive showroom environment, you would be more of a brand ambassador and concierge, moving potential buyers through immersive, pre-ownership experiences, focusing on storytelling, user experience, upgrades, and customization, creating memorable and emotional connections that amplify the brand, drive conversions, and accelerate the sales process. For step 5, document action plans, you would explain that action plans would be developed for the scenarios that are prioritized, have the most impact, and are most likely. The plans would include the skills, training, and development opportunities needed, and the resources provided by the organization to support the employee. I'll go into more detail about future-focused development plans in another video. Finally, for step 6, monitor scenarios. You would explain that to prepare for the future, we must continually monitor the landscape, and therefore your employee needs to be agile, committed to continuous learning, and ready to pivot as new technologies emerge. You'll also want to reassure the employee that you'll set milestones, have regular check-ins on progress against the action plans, and provide support throughout the journey. By structuring the conversation this way, you provide a clear framework for employees to envision a future of possibilities within the organization and the industry. You also set the stage for ongoing dialogue and a unique partnership in your preparation for the future. In the next video, I'll cover how you can engage in the process of surfacing employee perspectives and aspirations about the AI-driven future so that you can co-design inspiring, forward-looking career development plans. As you learned in the last video, scenario planning is about how the future may emerge, and it's like opening the door for employees to imagine a future where they have a place, purpose, and meaning, despite uncertainty. But delving into their awareness, attitudes, and aspirations to help them connect the dots is like leading them through the door into a viable path to that future. In doing so, you engage in meaningful dialogue with your employees to clarify and evaluate the alignment between their perceptions, attitudes, and aspirations with the evolving work landscape, AI, potential futures, and it prepares you for later co-creating development plans with them. There are a few questions that you can use to engage in this dialogue and have an authentic and structured conversation. They will help you understand perceptions and concerns, needs around adaptation, aspirations, and the career planning and support required by the employee. I encourage you to make them your own and adapt them in the context of your organizational culture. First, what are your thoughts on the integration of AI in our industry? Do you see it as an opportunity for growth, a challenge to overcome, or a bit of both? Looking 3 to 5 years into the future, how do you think AI will shape careers in our industry? And where do you see yourself in this landscape? What roles or responsibilities excite you the most about this future? The shift towards an AI-driven workplace can bring uncertainties. So what are your concerns about this transition, and how can we work together to navigate these changes? What skills or knowledge are you most eager to develop as we embark on this journey towards a more AI-enhanced workplace? What learning opportunities or resources would help you prepare for the future in our industry, and how can the organization support you with your learning goals? And finally, as your leader, how can I provide better clarity, direction, and support in this evolving environment? This list is not exhaustive in covering this type of conversation's multifaceted aspects and complexities. You should view these questions as a foundation to initiate meaningful dialogue, remembering that authenticity, trustworthiness, and an empowering approach are paramount in these discussions. You must tailor your approach to each individual, ensuring the conversations are informative, genuinely supportive, and conducive to your employees' growth and confidence in the face of change in a dynamic future. Before starting the next video on co-creating future-forward career plans, take a few minutes to choose 2 or 3 questions to include in your conversations with your employees. Did you know that according to a study by Dell Technologies and the Institute for the Future, by 2030, 85% of jobs that will exist have yet to be invented? So, in your career conversations, you must help employees design career development plans that track with the future of work. Doing this allows them to be prepared for the intersection of change and possibilities. Let's start by differentiating traditional career development plans and future-forward career plans. Traditional career plans emphasize linear progression with a hierarchical structure, prioritizing skills for this type of career advancement. For example, in accounting, one might start as a junior accountant, progress to an accountant, then to a senior accountant, and eventually aim for a controller or CFO position. Conversely, future-focused career planning centers on continuous learning and skill acquisition to foster flexibility and role adaptability. It's multi-directional and ensures the alignment of an employee's professional growth, aspirations, and future opportunities. This means that an HR employee could become an AI ethicist. A marketing employee could become an auditor of AI-generated brand influencers, or an operations employee could become an AI business integration specialist. Or, conversely, an employee working in a supervisory role might decide to move to an entry-level role in a new AI-influenced area of the business. So, what's included in an effective future-forward career development plan? First, remember that it's grounded in futures thinking and scenario planning. The plan should include goals and actions that foster curiosity, exploration, and experimentation. This will encourage them to actively push beyond the confines of their role, seek new experiences, ideas, knowledge, and take risks. Include goals and actions for networking and relationship building across functions and industries. This will grow domain and cross-functional knowledge. industry insights, and open doors to new opportunities, projects, and collaborations. Include critical skills they need now, like basic AI fluency, what AI is, how it is leveraged in business, and ethical and responsible use. It absolutely must include skill development around multimodal applications of generative AI, like text, data, analysis, voice, video, and image. Include additional skills and experience development around augmented and virtual reality and various AI tools and platforms. Although the future will be AI driven, it must be human guided. So fortify the plan with human skills like design and systems thinking, creativity, empathy, and the ability to communicate effectively with humans and AI. Prioritize learning using an iterative approach while balancing urgency with realistic timelines so that you don't overwhelm the employee. Start by closing current skill gaps in domain knowledge, complex problem solving, and data literacy. It'll be important for you to work with your HR and L&D teams in facilitating, delivering, or curating the learning outlined in the plan. But realistically, your organization may not be positioned to provide all of the learning needs for the plan. So what do? Work with the employee to curate external resources for self-directed learning, ranging from platforms like LinkedIn Learning, micro-credential and certificate programs, open source projects, online groups and forums, podcasts, industry webinars, books, and industry associations. The point is to continue to move the employee forward until the organization catches up. This will foster autonomy and empowerment for the employee and reinforce engagement in the organization's capacity for growth and innovation. Quick story. Years ago, I worked in the media industry on the print side, and the industry was experiencing major digital disruption. I knew that I needed to acquire new skills to be prepared for the transformation of the industry from print to digital, but there was nothing in place organizationally to provide the massive upskilling that we all needed. I followed the advice of a mentor, which was to acquire the skills on my own and let the organization catch up, so that as the organization caught up, I'd be positioned to deliver a high level of value. AI is advancing rapidly, and it can be challenging for organizations to keep up, so you may need to encourage your employees to do the same. In the following video, I'll cover the role of coaching and mentoring in moving employees forward in attaining their career goals. The most significant contributions you can make in supporting your employees and sustaining momentum around their forward-focused development plans are coaching and mentoring. Naturally, you'll embed elements of these conversations into your one-on-ones, check-ins, and ongoing development discussions. But I strongly recommend that you regularly carve out time specifically to engage in these forward-looking career conversations. There is no one-size-fits-all approach for coaching. So you must apply the right coaching style and combinations to meet your employees where they are and adjust as they progress. For example, you might use a directive approach for unsure employees experiencing an elevated level of trepidation about AI, future scenarios, and where they fit in. With this approach, you provide clear, structured guidance in setting goals and driving the development process. Then you can transition to a non-directive approach when they're ready. You might use a non-directive approach with employees who are comfortable with the AI-driven future, have an idea of the goals they want to explore, acknowledge the challenges they may face, and can develop most solutions to advance the process. With this approach, you take on the role of a facilitator focused on solutions and goal attainment, enabling the employee to level up. Whether using a directive or non-directive approach, your overarching style should be that of a transformational coach. This means you are focused on driving significant change and growth, shifting perspectives, and empowering employees to achieve higher levels of personal and professional development. You are challenging attitudes and beliefs that may impede their ability to shift, establish their sense of place, and prepare them for the future. Additionally, you are helping them identify how the attainment of their goals aligns with business goals and the trajectory of the future. Here's an analogy. It's like being a seasoned mountain guide who assists a person in ascending a challenging peak. Think navigating the AI-driven future of work. The guide pours essential climbing skills and wisdom into them and shepherds them to alter their perceptions and behaviors to ensure that they overcome the immediate hurdle and emerge from the experience as a more adept climber. Along the way, the guide instills in them a mindset that views each steep slope or rough terrain not just as an obstacle to be conquered, but as an opportunity to develop resilience, strategic thinking, and adaptability for the future. The role of the guide in this analogy is to help the individual see beyond the summit to the broader journey of personal growth and equip them with the tools and confidence to tackle future mountains with greater skill and assurance. Now, in addition to coaching, you'll need to mentor or potentially connect employees to mentors. Since you'll be mentoring to prepare for a future possibly beyond your scope, your knowledge and expertise may only take your employees so far. So you'll need to lean into mentoring methods that best suit your employees' needs. Your organization may have a formal mentoring program, an AI center of learning and excellence, or optimized talent marketplace platforms that connect employees to mentors to fill the gaps. If not, I recommend you function as a connector in facilitating mentoring relationships within the organization and industry. Also encourage employees to seek external and peer mentors, engage in group mentoring, leverage professional networks like LinkedIn and professional associations, partner with mentoring platforms like Mentor Crews, and leverage generative AI platforms like ChatGPT for personalized guidance. Speaking of Gen AI, remember that you too can leverage Gen AI tools to help you prepare for coaching and mentoring sessions. Gain broader perspectives, refine your approach, anticipate challenges or questions, develop innovative ideas, and identify resources for employees so you can effectively support them through this transformational journey. It is vital to align employee career aspirations with your organization's vision, business goals, and future of work strategy to capitalize on the synergies and interconnectedness that can drive both the employee and the organization forward. Your employees will expect honesty, transparency, and trust from you in this process, even if it means being vulnerable enough to admit that you do not know and honest enough to admit what you can and cannot share about the organization's future vision, strategic goals, and objectives. As the organization's future forward strategies develop, advance, or shift, employees will expect you to guide them in adjusting or elevating their career aspirations to be intentionally aligned with overarching business goals. Here are a few key points to remember. Communicate clear organizational goals. When employees understand the company's direction, you can work with them to align their development goals accordingly. Implement future-focused development plans. We covered this in the last video, but be sure to link personal development goals to the organization's future of work goals and objectives, and the futures thinking scenarios you develop together so that employee growth contributes to organizational success. Facilitate performance discussions. In performance discussions, emphasize how the employee's skill development and progress square up with current and future organizational objectives. Emphasize agility and adaptability. Keep the development process flexible enough to adapt to changing organizational goals to maintain alignment. Lean in on coaching and mentoring. Again, you will provide the primary coaching and mentoring for your employees, but remember to connect them with others across the organization and industry so that they can gain additional insights and perspectives that are relevant to their growth and organizational goals. Normalize development opportunities in daily work. This can be through challenging assignments, cross-functional projects, or opportunities to lead initiatives that align with both the employee's career goals and organizational strategy. Be a role model. You model these behaviors by discussing your alignment with organizational goals, sharing your experiences, and demonstrating how you incorporate strategic alignment into your daily work. By implementing these strategies, you can foster a culture of transparency and trust where employee growth and organizational goals are intertwined and both are primed for future success. As a leader, you'll need to foster an environment that empowers employees to move from fear of AI to curiosity, creativity, and experimentation. Doing so will help them adapt as work is transformed and imagine future possibilities and spaces for themselves in the future. Curiosity is the desire to learn, explore, and understand. It's also about asking questions, exploring the unknown, and being eager to discover AI and its role in transforming work and what it means to them. What I love about intellectual curiosity is that asking questions like why, what if, when, and how leads to a path of creativity, enabling the generation of new ideas and potential solutions and experiences with experimentation for employees to leverage in their development and in carving out a path for the future. Let's go deeper by using the example of Brandon, a marketing employee, to demonstrate the interconnected journey from curiosity to creativity and experimentation. Brandon is aware of the rapid advancements of AI and is curious about its impact on the marketing space. Through the coaching and guidance of his leader, Brandon starts by seeking knowledge and exploring the basics of AI, asking critical questions, and beginning to keep up with the latest trends, shifts, and impacts of AI in the marketing space. That curiosity moves to creativity, where Brandon is fueled by this knowledge and inspired by how AI is transforming marketing. Brandon begins to think creatively about how AI can be integrated into the organization, his current role, and the roles of the future. He is actively engaging with his manager and developing a plan that positions him to add value by helping solve some of the department's biggest customer challenges, and a development plan for how Brandon can begin preparing and pivoting for the impact of AI. Next, Brandon moves to the experimentation phase, where with the approval of management and clear guardrails, he can lead a pilot project to integrate Gen AI tools into a specific marketing campaign. He will analyze the results, gather feedback, tweak the integration, document outcomes and insights, and share lessons learned from the project with the department and broader organization. This process not only added significant value to the department, but also enhanced Brandon's skills, showcased his capability to innovate, and positioned him as a valuable, innovative, and adaptable employee, capable of transitioning into future roles as the organization moves through wider AI adoption. You too can coach and guide your employees through curiosity, creativity, and experimentation so that they can prepare to find their place in the AI-driven future of work. I have a few recommendations. Start by modeling the curiosity, creativity, and experimentation you desire to see in them. Provide continuous learning opportunities to build AI fluency as a foundation for sparking curiosity. Create a safe environment for them to be curious, ask questions, take risks, and experience failure in discovering how AI will transform business, work, and their career trajectory. Encourage them to follow their curiosity and be open to where it leads them. Quick story. I spent the first half of my career in media, and there is nothing in my past that would suggest that I would leave media and become a work futurist. I read a book about the future of work, and that curiosity sparked a level of experimentation that completely changed the trajectory of my life and career. Finally, where appropriate with guardrails, provide access to Gen AI tools and platforms for employees to experiment with and create use cases. Using these tips, you'll be able to amplify curiosity, creativity, and experimentation with your employees. In the next video, we'll take a look at how you can foster upskilling, AI-human collaboration, and continuous learning to keep your employees focused on their future-forward career plans. We talked about skills to include in employee development plans in earlier videos. In this video, I'm going to talk about the role you will play in helping employees prioritize upskilling, AI collaboration, and continuous learning specific to Gen AI. Companies like IBM, PwC, Walmart, Cognizant, and Microsoft are strategically investing in upskilling employees in Gen AI. Your organization may also provide Gen AI fluency training for employees. However, an AWS study on AI skills in the U.S. revealed that more than 90% of surveyed employers and employees reported facing at least one barrier to accessing adequate AI skills training for their organizations or themselves. Interestingly, the lack of knowledge of AI skills needed and of relevant career paths fell within the top 3. I want you to remember that Gen AI upskilling as a one-off will not suffice. This is a muscle building and maintenance process. Let's use ChatGPT as an example. Since its initial launch, there have been several versions and there have been several upgrades to increase functionality, and hundreds of plugins have been introduced. New use cases for applications across functions, roles, and tasks are created daily to drive efficiency and productivity. Thousands of new Gen AI tools and applications have been launched in the past year to solve all kinds of problems and move businesses forward. And the exponential growth of Gen AI tools and platforms is projected to continue for the foreseeable future. So as a leader, you'll need to foster an environment for continuous learning and reinforce the fact that employees cannot become complacent with learning the basics about Gen AI or be casual users. They must move with the rhythm of the evolution of Gen AI. You will need to help them be very intentional about diving deeper, expanding their knowledge, frequently engaging in collaborative AI experiences, and developing skills and competencies to keep up and continually learn how to apply Gen AI. In doing so, you support them in fine-tuning their forward gaze and developing future-forward skills that will enable them to pivot, leverage futures thinking, face future scenarios, and drive career momentum. This can feel daunting for some employees, so you must be encouraging and inspiring and connect the dots about why and how this can pay off for them. The benefits are not just in preparing them for the future. The same AWS report on skills also revealed that employers indicated they would pay a salary premium for workers with AI skills. This wage premium could be at least 30% and varies by department because employers anticipate that workers with AI skills can drive additional productivity and higher quality work, which would command a salary increase. The Gen AI ecosystem is vast, so in prioritizing AI collaboration and continuous learning, you may ask, where do I direct the focus for employees first? Well, according to a recent report from CompTIA, having a basic grasp of AI, data analytics, and popular AI platforms are the top 3 digital skills needed to thrive in today's job market. So directing the initial focus of AI collaboration with common Gen AI business tools like ChatGPT and later expanding to other relevant and adjacent AI tools and platforms is an excellent place to start. I also recommend prioritizing continuous learning for employees in the following areas: the basics of Gen AI, basic principles of large language models and natural language processing, multimodal Gen AI, data literacy, complex problem solving, prompt engineering and design, application and use cases, responsible and ethical use, mitigating bias, misinformation and fact-checking, and of course, the legal implications. In the next video, I'll discuss how you can support internal talent mobility for your employees in alignment with their forward-focused career goals. The strategy of having forward-facing career conversations and developing career development plans with a futures thinking and scenario planning focus runs parallel with how many organizations prioritize building a skills-first culture and internal talent mobility. A skills-first culture emphasizes continuous learning and development, ensuring the workforce remains relevant and competitive, reducing the risk of skills obsolescence. Internal talent mobility enhances agility, allowing organizations to quickly redeploy talent in response to changing business needs and priorities and to make strategic pivots for the future. Both are powerful strategies for organizations in the age of AI. As a leader, it's vital for you to prioritize internal mobility and future-forward conversations and planning with your employees. In doing so, consider the breadth and scope of internal mobility beyond upward mobility, because it may take a while for roles that meet employees' aspirations and career trajectories to materialize within the organization. The key is to keep them moving forward with skill acquisition and experiences that prepare them for the future. So you will need to guide your employees in leveraging multi-directional internal mobility that makes sense and aligns with their skills, interests, and aspirations, and gets them closer to the future they envision for themselves within the organization. So in addition to vertical mobility, help them explore additional forms of mobility like lateral mobility. This is when the employee moves across different roles or departments at the same level to gain a breadth of knowledge, skills, and opportunities for growth. Functional mobility. This is when the employee moves between different functional areas within the organization, such as moving from marketing to finance, and the direction of movement can be up or down. It may sound counterintuitive to level down, but leveling down may enable the employee to move into a space that transports them to a track that aligns with the bigger picture for their career in the future. Geographic mobility. This is when the employee relocates temporarily or permanently to different offices, regions, or even countries for strategic assignments, to fill critical roles, meet business priorities, and enables them to create more runway for their career in the future. Project-based mobility. I like how Gloat describes project-based mobility. It allows employees to collaborate across the organization to complete a specific project, enabling them to dedicate part of the work to projects beyond the boundaries of their usual workflow or department. This enables employees to garner critical skills, knowledge, experiences, and insights. In my view, it's an excellent way for employees to connect to AI and other future-focused priorities as organizations begin to explore and deploy AI projects, programs, and strategies across the enterprise. And sometimes, depending on the project, new permanent roles emerge. Not all organizations have them, but when optimized, internal mobility platforms, aka talent marketplaces, are great for facilitating internal talent mobility. These platforms, when optimized, can match employees to projects, mentors, learning, and new roles. So, if your organization leverages an internal mobility platform, encourage your employees to lean in as part of your guidance and coaching. As a last point, talent acquisition and L&D teams are increasingly collaborating strategically to drive internal talent mobility. So I also recommend reaching out to them for guidance in catalyzing internal talent mobility with your employees. As you can see, in the age of AI, the role of leaders leveraging futures thinking to guide career conversations with employees has never been more pivotal. It's not just about the execution, but also about critically evaluating the effectiveness and impact on the organization and employees. Metrics like engagement and retention rates, internal mobility statistics, and participation in upskilling programs can offer concrete data on the practical impacts of these discussions. Additionally, fostering an environment where employees are encouraged to peer forward using futures thinking and planning with a sense of purpose and possibility can transform organizational culture. It can cultivate an atmosphere of optimism where fear of AI and the unknown is gradually replaced with collective confidence in the ability to adapt and thrive. This shift from fear to optimism and empowerment profoundly benefits and impacts employees. When employees understand that their organization is committed to their growth and development in the face of accelerated technological and AI advancements, it fosters a sense of safety and belonging. These open and honest dialogues can demystify the changes that AI brings and shift the narrative from fear and uncertainty to opportunity and growth. This is why normalizing regular future-focused career conversations is so critical. Over time, you should be able to observe the shifts in attitude, confidence, and motivation levels of your employees about their future prospects. Remember to be realistic. Not all employees will make the shift at the same time, and some may choose not to move through this process. So meet them where they are. Heightened levels of confidence and motivation are catalysts for empowerment, innovation, and the intentional pursuit of attaining their co-created development plan goals that position them to move into the future boldly. As you coach, guide, and track the progress of your employees' development, remember to celebrate the small wins, milestones, and big achievements. Celebrate employees in confronting their trepidation, yet continuing to move forward. Celebrate the aha moments as they lean into curiosity and experimentation and take risks. Celebrate as you observe them embracing and leveraging futures thinking. Celebrate as they build relationships. Celebrate their acquisition and innovative application of new skills. Celebrate when they build GenAI skills and mastery of GenAI platforms. Celebrate as their career aspirations and development goals align with business priorities. Celebrate as you watch them become more agile and adaptable to change. Most importantly, celebrate their ability to harness their inner strength to shift and pivot, lean forward, and identify spaces where they can deliver value to the organization and thrive in the AI-amplified future of work. Congratulations on completing this course. As leaders, your role is to inspire, guide, and empower your teams to navigate the future in the age of AI. Embrace this journey with openness, courage, and vision. Your leadership, the career conversations you initiate, and the plans you co-create together will light the path forward for your employees and advance your organization. We covered a lot in this course, but we are all at the beginning of the age of AI, and there is more to learn, experience, and do for organizations, leaders, and employees in order to win the future. I'm a future of work expert who provides leaders with strategies and insights aligned at the intersections of AI, the future of work, culture, employee experience, and leadership development. Please connect with me as a partner in moving your organization into the future. I also encourage you to check out my other courses on generative AI in the LinkedIn Learning Library. I wish you the best and a future full of possibilities. Thank you again for watching this course.